Hey everyone, it's John again. Today we're going to be covering words with multiple meanings. To me, these are some of the most confusing parts of any language where a word either sounds the same or is the exact same but means something completely different. So I do have the words listed out for what these things are called in English. That's not really important. We're just going to be going over some of the most common words that are like this. There's hundreds in English, so they are really important to learn, but today we're just going to be covering some of the most common ones you might see. Uh, for example, one of them is sound. So sound is noise, it's something you hear. The thunder makes a sound, talking makes a sound, but sound also means secure or sturdy. So you can be sound asleep or safe and sound are a couple common phrases in English. So using in a sentence, you could say someone that is sound asleep might not wake up from a loud sound. And it's stuff like that that can be confusing in like English or in any language that we'll try and smooth out today a little bit for some of the words. So the first one we're going to jump into is bear. So the most common you might know from is bear, the animal. But there's a few other meanings for bear that are either spelled the same or very similar. So the first one is spelled a little different, B-A-R-E, and that one means uncovered or exposed. So a couple different meanings within that. So you can bear the truth, meaning you uncover, find the truth. It can be something physical or just information. Or another example is being barefooted. So bare skin. If you have your shirt off, it's being bare chested. The second way to spell this word is bear, B-E-A-R. This is one with multiple definitions. So the first one, like I said earlier, is the animal. The bear climbed up a tree is the example. Everyone's mostly familiar with what a bear is. The second one is to carry or to support. So if you are walking down the street and you're holding your phone, you're technically bearing your phone. It's just another way to say carrying or to have. The third one is bear, to endure. So this is more of an emotional thing. The example is she couldn't bear the embarrassment when she fell. So it cut off a little bit there, but the full sentence was she couldn't bear the embarrassment when she fell. So it's just that you aren't able to, or bear is emotion-wise something you can withstand. So if it's a horror movie, you can bear how scary it is, or maybe you can't bear how scary the movie is. And then down at the bottom on these slides, I've added what I've called a challenge text. So it's a purposely confusing phrase on some of these, more like a riddle. But I think it'd be good practice to kind of read through these and make sure you understand each way the word or phrase is being used. So some of these are harder than others, and they don't always make the most sense since I try to shove a few different meanings in one sentence. But in this example, it's the boy dropped the fish he was bearing because he couldn't bear the sight of the bear bearing its teeth at him. So jumping into the meaning on this one, it's the boy dropped the fish he was holding because he couldn't stand the sight of the bear, the animal, bearing its teeth, showing its teeth at him. So he dropped the fish he was holding because he got scared of the animal showing its teeth at him. The second word we're going to jump into is by. So a couple definitions on B-U-Y, and then some other words that have the exact same sound, B-Y and B-Y-E. So the most common form of buy is to purchase. So you go to the store and you buy some apples. The second one that's somewhat of a similar definition, but a little bit different, it's to believe something. So if you're telling a story or making up lies, you're trying to get someone to buy your lies. Or if you hear someone on the street saying something that doesn't make sense, you don't buy their story. You don't buy into it, you don't believe it. BY, by, is about location. So it's near to something. You could say the store is near to the bus stop, or the store is by the road, something like that. But by just means it is nearby or you're going by. sorry, I just realized I can't use the word in its definition. You're going close to. So by is close to. Bye is by, as in farewell. It's a goodbye. Something you would say when you're leaving someone, leaving a party, or just going away from talking to someone. The example is tell grandma bye before you leave. This challenge text is, I tried to buy beer at the store by the bus stop with my fake ID, but the cashier didn't buy it, so I just said bye and left. So maybe pause it and take a second to try and figure it out on your own, but I'll run through it as well. So I tried to purchase beer at the store by the bus stop, close to the bus stop, with my fake ID, but the cashier didn't buy it, didn't believe it, so I just said bye, goodbye, see you later, farewell, and left. So this scenario is a very American one where the drinking age is 21. Someone might go to the store with a fake ID. But yeah, I've just tried to show the difference, all the words in one scenario there. The third, next one we're covering is date. So this one's actually all spelled the same way for the most part. The first one, most common, is date as in day of the year. What is today's date? What date is your birthday? The second one is date as in going out with someone. So you have a first date with someone you met, someone asked you on a date, we went on a date to a restaurant. The third one and fourth one are pretty similar. One is to identify the date of. So this is where scientists might do research to date a mummy that they found, or date a material that they found. So the coin was dated back to the year 1200. And the fourth one is somewhat similar, but it's more of refers to a style or fashion. So it's old, out of style. Maybe someone is wearing outdated clothes, or their clothes look dated. So fax machines are very outdated. The man was wearing a very dated suit that looked like it was from the 90s or something. The challenge text is, he asked to set a date for our date, but he was so outdated that he didn't have a cell phone, just a pager dating back to the 90s. So this one's, he asked to set a date, a day that they could meet for their date, meeting each other. But he was so outdated, kind of from the past, that he didn't have a cell phone, just a pager dating back to the 90s. The pager looked like it was from 30 years ago. The next word we're going to go over is dessert and desert. So this one does have a slightly different sound if you're more accustomed to English. Desert with one S will sound like desert. With two S's, it's dessert. I don't know if that's able to be heard by kind of people learning English, but you can start to pick it up over time. It's just a very subtle difference, where the second E sounds like almost a U, and dessert like the food. But the first definition is like the Sahara Desert in Africa, or the deserts out west in the US. It's just a dry land with nothing living on it. The second one is desert, like you desert a person, you leave them behind. The example is, my friend deserted me at the party even though I didn't know anyone, so you got left behind. And then the one everyone likes is dessert. The food, you usually eat it after a meal. You maybe want to eat it first, but yeah, it's having, as an example, cake after dinner or something. So for the example text, it's, they deserted me in the desert with just an umbrella and some leftover dessert cake. So they left them behind in the desert, in the dry, sandy area, with just an umbrella and some leftover cake, or leftover sweet food. I struggled to use some of the definition on these. The next one is do. So the most common is do, where it's, I've had trouble defining it, but in Ukrainian it's robitsi. It's sort of a really base word, so I couldn't really find a good definition for it that kind of fit in that short spot. But the example of it is don't do that. The first line up there is do, D-E-W. That's like in the morning when you're walking outside and there's water on the grass. It's just the name of water that happens in the morning on the grass or other surfaces. And then due is due as in something is expected to happen. So there's a due date. A book could be due that you rented. And then, or it's often referred to as a payment. So there's a due date for a payment. Rent is past due. And the text below is, do you have time to walk to the post office after the due dries? The clothes I want to return are almost past the due date. So again, it's sort of with this definition, but are you able to have time to walk to the post office after the water on the grass dries? They want to return their clothes before the deadline passes. The next one is here. So H-E-A-R and H-E-R-E. So the base common word of H-E-A-R is hearing with your ears. So just the sense, like smell, touch, sight, it's hearing. The second phrase of H-E-A-R is to be informed. So this is where the example is, have you heard the news? Have you heard something happened? It doesn't have to be by hearing. You could, could be asking if you just saw it or read it as well. So if you read a news article and someone asked you if you heard the news, you could still say yes. So it's not about hearing it from someone. It's just, do you know about it? Were you told? Have you been informed in some way? And the other word is H-E-R-E, here, as in the location of something. So the TV remote is right here. And here is specifically used when it is nearby the person saying it. So if something is at my desk, I would say it's right here. If something is in the other room, I would say it's over there. So here is used usually when it's in the person's immediate area. And it doesn't have to be, it's relative immediate area too. So if you're talking to someone in the same house and your area for right here might be within arm's reach, if you're talking to someone from another country, you could say anything in your country is over here. So if I'm in Texas, I could say, yes, there's a lot of cows over here, or there's a lot of oil over here, even though there's none immediately by me. In Texas, there's a lot. But if I'm talking to someone in Texas, I wouldn't say over here because they're probably closer to it. And the challenge text on this one is, did you hear that people heard a wolf over here in the woods? This one is, did you hear the news? Did someone tell you? Did you read it? Were you aware that people heard the sound heard the sound of a wolf right in those woods that are next to us? The next one is whole. So H-O-L-E and W-H-O-L-E. And there's actually another version of this where it's holy and holy, again, same word. So the first one is H-O-L-E, an opening in the ground usually, or there could be a hole in a shirt, a hole in a piece of paper. The example is the boys kicked a ball and put a hole in the window. So it's just an area with a hole in it. Whole means all of something. So you really ate the whole pizza as an example, all of the pizza. And holy versions of these means, say if I could have a hole in my shirt, or my shirt could be holy if it had a lot of shirts in it. And whole, W-H-O-L-E, turns into holy. It means, it still means all of something. It's just another way to phrase it. So you could say, I love you with my whole heart, or I wholly love you. So it's just a different version of the same word. And then there is also H-O-L-Y, which means holy as in sort of religious, godly. So the Holy Sacrament or Holy Eucharist. So that's a kind of adding a third one to this. The challenge text is, it's been 2 whole days and you already have a hole in your jeans. So this one's just kind of jokingly saying you've only had your jeans for 2 whole days, 2 full days. and you already have a hole worn out your jeans in a spot. This one, it's kind of put two doubled up here. There's new, K-N-E-W, N-E-W, and then another version of new. New is the past tense of know, so I added K-N-O-W again at the bottom, and then N-O as well, since no and no mean the same, or sound the same but mean different things. So K-N-E-W, it's the past tense of know. I knew that you didn't like coffee, so I got you tea. And N-E-W means recent. Novi is your new phone better than your old phone. And going to know, the present tense of new, it's to understand something, to have that information. Do you know how to speak English? No. N-O, so this one's a very basic word, nye, ne. That's a negative, it's opposite of yes. I couldn't think of an example for this one. No is N-O is a full sentence. So that is the example. It's just the opposite of yes, no. And the challenge text here is, no, I didn't know that you knew he bought a new car every year. So this one's saying no as in the negative. They did not know. So you can say, no, I didn't. That means, so no, I did not. It's answering a question. So they would have asked, did you know this? You would say, no, I did not know this. So that's what it's saying. No, I didn't have that information. That you have that information. That he bought another car, a new car. It could be brand new, as in from the current year, or new to him. So not a brand new car, but it was not a recently made car, but it's a recent car to him. I think I confused myself with that sentence more than anything. The next word is meet. So M-E-E-T is to encounter. You meet someone. You can meet an animal, you can meet a person, you can meet sort of a concept as well. So you can be introduced to a new language. That's probably not the best definition now that I think about it, but you're mostly meeting someone, mostly meeting a thing, or meeting like an animal, a pet. Sorry, I'm looking down and pointing to my dog right here. Did you meet the new neighbors yet? The other word that it sounds like is M-E-A-T. Miazo or miezo. I think it's, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. My favorite type of meat is beef, and then chicken is second. So, did you meet the new rancher we get our meat from? Have you been introduced? Have you run into? Have you encountered the new rancher we get our beef or chicken or some type of animal food from? So in rancher in this sentence, it's kind of like farmer, but rancher is specifically used for beef or cow farming. So it's a specific word for someone with a lot of land that kind of breeds cattle. For pigs and goats, other stuff, we would usually just say farmer as well. The next word is mean. So these are all spelled the same. And this one of these does have a mathematical kind of phrase, but it does mean stuff outside of mathematics as well. The first definition, though, is mean as in someone is being mean, someone is being rude, just the opposite of nice. So the dog is so mean to the cats, he chases them away. So first one is just, it's not nice. Second one is M-E-A-N, mean for a mathematical term that means average. So this is where it can get confusing, where I'm mixing in math with language, but there's a couple of different, the overall meaning is the average. So the mean salary is $5,000 per month. The average salary is $5,000 per month. It means the same thing. Sorry, I just used the same word. And then mean is intention. So a little bit difficult to not use the same word in the definition, but it's intention, it's what is it trying to convey? So did you mean for that to happen? Did you intend for that to happen? What did you mean by that word? What does that word mean? Just what is the information that word is trying to get across? And the challenge text is, did you mean it when you said that the mean American is mean? So did you really intend to say, or did you honestly mean or intend to say that the average American is not nice or is rude? So hopefully you don't think that's the case. I think Americans might have the stereotype of being nice, but maybe loud. But hopefully we don't have the stereotype of being mean, at least. The next word is plain, P-L-A-I-N and P-L-A-N-E. The first definition we're going to cover is ordinary or basic. So the example is the food was very plain. I couldn't taste any flavor. So this is plain as in nothing very exciting, very ordinary, basic, nothing much to it. The second one, spelled the same, is geography. So it's a flat land with a few trees. So a lot of Ukraine is plains. The middle part of the US is called the Great Plains. It's just long spans of flat land, usually with not many trees. And it's typically good for farming, but not much going on besides that. Living in the plains makes me miss the mountains. So just trying to show plains are the opposite of mountains. It's completely flat land. And then there's P-L-A-N-E. So I didn't really know how to define it, but everyone knows what a plane is, but it's a flying bus. That's the best way I could describe it. So I took a plane ride to visit my family for Thanksgiving. The challenge text is, the Great Plains states in America are too plain for me to drive through, so I took a plane instead. So this is geography again, where the Great Plains is a group of states in the US where they're completely flat. So the flat states in America are too plain, boring, ordinary, nothing exciting for me to drive through, so I took a plane, a flying bus instead. And there is a phrase in the US called flyover states, where the states are so boring and so flat that you just need to fly over them instead of driving through. So that's usually the entire middle part of the country, so Oklahoma up to North Dakota, and sometimes the corn states in the Midwest like Iowa, definitely Nebraska, Iowa, usually not over to, Illinois, it's part of northern Missouri, but definitely Oklahoma. I'm not going to run through every state, but definitely Oklahoma up through North Dakota. The next word is stair. So stairs, like you're walking up the steps or walking up the stairs. The elevator is out, so you need to take the stairs. And stare is like, I will be staring at you through the camera right now. Or the definition is to continuously look at something. The example I did hopefully doesn't happen to you much, or hopefully not at all, but say there's a creepy person on the bus that is just staring at people or staring at you. The challenge text is, don't stare at your phone while walking or you might fall down the stairs. So I think this one's straightforward, but don't look at your phone too much or you might fall down the steps. The next one is suite. S-U-I-T-E is like a large or special rooms. So this one is like the fancy room in a hotel or at a sports event where there might be suites for the wealthier people, or a company might rent out a suite in a stadium. So the example is book the hotel suite, book the suite in the hotel for honeymoon. So that's kind of going above and beyond, trying to get the best room. The second definition is S-W-E-E-T. So very sugary, it's a flavor like candy. So sweet, think candy. or SWEET, think candy. The cake is too sweet for me. I wish it had less sugar. The challenge text is the suites at the football game get all you can eat sweets. So the special rooms, the VIP rooms at the football games get all you can eat candy or desserts. The next one is very common trouble for, or is very common for even English speakers to have trouble with. It's kind of a big point that people are judged on. So getting these words right, especially in text, are very important. So people are often judged if they don't get these ones right, and many English speakers have trouble with it. So they all sound the same: there, and there. THEIR, that's belonging to them. I have the Ukrainian for this. I'm sorry if I say it wrong, but I think it's E. And that is their dog, but it's their ownership. The second one is it's their, THEY', short for they are. Voniye. They're going to come over at noon. They are going to come over at noon. The last one is THERE. It means at that place. So it's kind of like what I mentioned with here. It's further than here. So it's something is right here. The computer is right here from me. Other stuff is over there, maybe in another room. The kitchen is over there. The door is over there. It's something that's farther away than right here. So it's sort of the same example. The TV remote is over there. So the TV remote might be right here next to you, or it could be over there by something else. And the challenge text is, that's their house right there. Do you think they're home? That is the house that belongs to them right there, maybe across the street, so right over something you're looking at. So essentially they're looking at a house that belongs to them, that's nearby, and do you think they are home? Do you think the people that are being talked about are home? The next one is very and very. So VARY means differences. People's accents can vary depending on what state you live in, so there can be different from one place to another. That's VARY, vary. And then there's very for VERY, and that's a high degree. So that's not the best definition, but I couldn't think of a better one, honestly. But it's that mountain is very, very tall. It's amplifying. The word very amplifies something. So there's tall and there's very tall. There's also very short. So if you can say something's very tall and very short. It's just amplifying whatever word it's being used before. So the menu at the restaurant will vary from time to time, but the food is always very good. So the menu might change and be different from time to time, but the food is always extremely good. Better than good. It's always better than good. It's always extremely good. Different ways to say that. The next one is warn, WARN and WORN. So the first one is warn, as in to give caution. So there is a wet floor warning sign since she just mopped. So WARN is warning. I'm having a lot of trouble not using the definition in these words, or definitions that already have the word, sorry. And WORN is to be used up, to be fatigued. So the hiker has worn holes in his shoes. It's wearing him out. It's I think used up is the best word to phrase it, but a person can be worn out as well. So if you've been running a lot and you're tired, you can say you're worn out, and that's where fatigue comes in. So the challenge text is, he tried to warn the driver that his tires were too worn down to keep driving. So he tried to caution the driver, let him know that their tires were too too flat, or too used up, too beaten up to keep driving. It wasn't safe anymore. The next one is wear, W-E-A-R, two definitions of this, and then W-H-E-R-E, also wear. So the first one is to dress in, nosisi. I'm sorry again if I'm saying that wrong, I'm still learning. And this one is what will you wear to the party? So what will you be dressed in to the party? The second one is wear, as in to use up, or it's usually phrased as to wear down, or to fatigue could also be used here. So if you're running, your stamina is wearing down. If you are driving a car a lot, the tires are wearing down, or you are wearing down the tires. So the wear and tear is a common phrase in English. So you could say the couch has wear and tear from being used so much, just from people sitting on it a bunch or animals getting on it. There's wear and tear. There's scratches, cuts, or it just doesn't look as nice. And the third one here, W-H-E-R-E, is where, as in the location. So where is the TV remote? Is it over here? Is it over there? Again, but it's where. Where is the store? It's location. The challenge text here is, tell me where we are going before you wear out my patience. I need to know what to wear. So this one's, imagine someone says they're taking you somewhere, taking you to a place, but they aren't telling you exactly what the place is. So you're getting impatient because you want them to tell you where we are going, tell you what location you are going to before your patience wears out, before your patience runs out, or you don't have any patience left, because you need to know what to wear, what to put on, what clothes. So maybe if you're going to a nice place, you want to wear nicer clothes. If it's a casual place, if you're going out walking, you want to wear walking shoes. So just kind of put that scenario there. Words with this is the last set of words. It's weather and weather, W-E-A-T-H-E-R and W-H-E-T-H-E-R. So the first one is climate. It's like temperature. Is it raining, cloudy, snowing? Do you know what the weather is like tomorrow? I don't want it to rain. So W-E-A-T-H-E-R is climate. W-H-E-T-H-E-R is weather, as in if. So I can't tell whether he likes me or not. I can't tell if he likes me or not. I can't tell if the food is hot. I can't tell whether or not the food is hot. Do you know whether or not the weather will be sunny tomorrow? So do you know if the day will be sunny tomorrow, or it will be cloudy? And that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful. And again, if you have any questions over this stuff, or maybe other words that are like this, if you want to keep learning more about it, just let me know, and I will happily help you out. Thank you, and bye.